Born to Alvin and Marguerite Atkins on September 15, 1945 in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Thomas James Atkins is the oldest of the family's 4 boys. Raised first on a series of farms in southeast South Dakota, then in John Steinbeck's Salinas Valley, California in the mid-1950s, the Atkins loaded their belongings into a single truck and returned to South Dakota for good in 1956. Tom and his brothers had daily farm chores, and Tom competed in 4-H competition by showing animals every summer at the Sioux Empire Fair. He attended 6 different grade schools during the family's moves and graduated from Goldenrod School 66, a one-room school with outdoor toilets. Lenox High School was next, where Tom met cheerleader Margaret Thomas. Her father, Bernard Thomas, owned and operated the Thomas Shows, a company that was founded in a small town by Bernard's uncle, Art B. Thomas, back in 1928.
Multiple generations of the Wilkerson family have worked with the Atkins crew and the Thomas Carnival folks for a long, long time.
Tom took a summer job working for Margaret's Aunt Pauline in a popcorn wagon. He asked Pauline for an extra advance so he could purchase an engagement ring. She agreed and gave Tom a short break to propose marriage to Margaret, then asked him to come right back to serve the crowds. Tom enrolled at Yankton College and played football, then transferred to South Dakota State University. Tom and Margaret were married in December of 1966. Tom received a degree in zoology and was commissioned the day he graduated and assigned to Fort Benning, Georgia, home of the infantry and the U.S. Army Ranger School. He survived the rigorous training, graduated from Ranger School in 1968, and was assigned duty in Alaska and Kentucky before serving in Vietnam. Author Michael Lee Lanning wrote of Tom in his book, Vietnam, 1969 to 1970, a company's commander journal. Back at Black Horse that night, I ended up talking to Tom Atkins. He was one of the few GIs I met who had a genuine affection for the Vietnamese and did his best to help in every possible way.
I remember Tom Atkins. He was president of OABA before I was. And we used to have a lot of conversations about the industry, and we also we were involved with Vietnam and the Army both at the same time. We were both lieutenants, and we were stationed in Vietnam at the same time. I was an engineer and he was infantry.
Tom received 2 Bronze Star commendations and returned to the States after 364 days in Vietnam, excused 1 day early to visit his ailing grandmother. He finished his career in Fort Carson, Colorado in 1971, leaving on a Friday and reporting for work at the Thomas Show's winter quarters the following Monday. Since that day 40 years ago, Tom has performed every job on the show.
We'd come into the spot and 2 or 3 in the morning, Tom would be waiting there, laying out the lot and parking the equipment, and I'd hand my kids out of the sleeper to him and put them into bed.
He was injured years ago working on the Skywheel, and he has a compassion for all Carnival folk who work so hard to keep the show on the road. Teamed with family and loyal long-term employees, Tom operates the Thomas Carnival at 50 dates in 10 states each season.
So, probably 20 years ago in Spencer, Iowa, played the fair there forever and ever and ever. And the only location that was any good for the photos, my one photo joint, was all the way up front. I'd sat there for probably 10 years. Bernard put me up there years ago, and we get there one year and Tom's got a ride up on that location. Tom, you know, the photo joint's got to sit up there. Well, you know, it'll be fine over here. I said, well, no, Tom, it won't be fine over there. He says, oh, you'll do fine, you'll do fine. I said, Tom, can I have the location? He goes, I'll tell you what, let's wrestle for the location. If you can wrestle and win, I'll tell you, 3 seconds later it was over. Tom's got that natural athletic ability. It didn't take him no time to take me down, and I'm 10 years younger.
Tom began to fly on the GI Bill and began piloting with his father-in-law Bernard in a Bonanza A-36 single-engine aircraft.
He's been really dedicated to the OABA and trade associations, the trade association work. Why, you know, we had a father-in-law. We're married to sisters. I don't know if you know, but we're married to sisters, and so we have a common father-in-law, Bernard Thomas, and he believed in the OABA strongly in the OABA, and we knew that from the day we met Bernard. And you know, Tom took that on, and I took that on, and whenever Tom was assigned, whenever Tom's been assigned a job to do at the OABA, he does it to his fullest. He does it to the maximum.
Tom began his service to the OABA by running the registration booth at the Parks and Fair conventions. Tom says he got to meet everyone in the industry, handing out registration badges, accepting dues, and listening to beefs, as he recalls being impressed by the family units running North American Carnival operations. The largest was the Vivonas at Amusements of America. Tom was elected to the OABA board and served as president in 1992, innovating and changing how the OABA works. He was the first to write a monthly president's letter in the OABA News. They called it Prez Says. OABA subcommittees met regularly under Atkins. Long-range planning was instituted. A new executive review process monitored performance of the executive director. Prizes were awarded for signing up new members. And OABA's bylaws were amended, calling for term limits and increasing participation from all segments of the industry. Tom served as president of the St. Louis chapter of the Showman's League and the Showman's League of America in 1987. He was also elected a director on other industry boards, including the Rocky Mountain Association of Fairs, Canadian Association of Exhibitions, South Dakota Association of Fairs, and in 2010 was elected to represent the carnival industry at the International Association of Fairs and Expositions.
Hi, I'm Jim Sinclair, Deputy General Manager of the Minnesota State Fair in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I'm also 2011 International Association of Fairs and Expositions Board Chairman. On a personal level, I'm pleased and honored to be able to call Tom a friend, and I sincerely appreciate the positive contribution that he's also made as a member of the IFE's 2011 board. He has distinguished himself in service to the industry through the Outdoor Amusement Business Association, Showman's League of America, and currently serves as one of 2 associate member directors on the IFE's board.
Tom and Margaret winter in the country in Winchester, Texas. For hobbies, Tom likes to hunt, fish, golf, read, and sail. Margaret operates their food concessions, Midway Grill and Midway Pastries. Their daughter, Allison Denton, is an educator who earned her doctorate in 2010. She lives in Virginia with her husband, Lauren, and the Atkins' 2 grandchildren. Their son, Christopher, is married to Kristen Clare from Lure's Ideal Rides. Like Tom, Chris serves the industry through the OABA and Showman's League and is recognized for his extraordinary efforts in raising scholarship funds through the recent Just Dance and Beauty vs. Beast competitions.
Congratulations, Tom, going into the OABA Hall of Fame.
Tom, congratulations. No one in the industry deserves this more than you do.
Hey Tom, congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Fame of the OABA.
He's lived that life and done his best to advance our industry and the people in it. He always tries to choose to do the right thing, and that's one of the reasons why I really respect Tom.
Thomas James Atkins, named to the Outdoor Amusement Business Association Hall of Fame Friday, February 11th, 2011.